All right, welcome everybody to week 10, day 1. Today we're going to be learning how to do an inventory system in Unreal Engine 5. Simple inventory system. There's much more complicated ones that you could do. And then in the second half of the lecture, we're going to be continuing our discussion of how to mod Quake 1, Quake World. So, first thing we should do is have some sort of I don't know, items you can pick up in the world or something like that. Last time we made like those little health power-up boxes and things like that. We can do something like that. I kind of want to mess with this Niagara thing too. But whatever. Okay. So first things first, we'll just make some sort of like pickup item. So we will do a... do I have any flowers or something? Maybe not. All right, so I'll just make a simple blueprint class here. It's going to be an actor, and this will be called a pickup BP. Double click on it to open, and we're just going to add to the scene root. We're going to add like a little cylinder or something like that, and it is about 1 meter in size. And the material I'm going to make gold or something. And then we will save this, compile it, save it, toss it out on the world, and just see how big it is. Probably a little bit too big right now. So, scale it down to about 1/3 the size. So now, if we look at it, there we go. We got a little thing. If we snap it down to the ground, we'll have a little thing here. Okay, it's maybe a little bit too small. Okay, so what we want is when we walk over this thing, we want to be able to pick it up. So we're also going to add to the thing, we're going to add a little box collision or something like that. Or we could make a sphere collision, either way. It's a cylinder, maybe we'll do a sphere collision. Capsule collision, why not? Okay, and so this we will scale up a little bit. One a little bit. A little bit more. Like that. Event graph, begin overlap. And right now we'll just start off as always with print string, and we'll just have it print picked up. File save, come back over here, and then we'll walk over to our item over here, and when we touch it, picked up. Okay. I'll play it again. Okay. So what we want is to, and this cylinder will obviously be replaced with a gun, a health, bar, whatever you want. I'm just using cylinder as a placeholder because I don't want to go to the effort of importing models right now. It's not really the point of this little lecture here. You guys all with me? You can just replace this cylinder with like something else. That's kind of cool. Huh. Little kind of cool thing there. We'll just use that. Works for me. Whatever. Okay. So what we're going to do is when somebody touches us, first thing we're going to do is make sure that it is the player that is touching us. If it's anyone else, we don't want the zombies to be able to pick them up. So we're going to do our standard cast to third person character. And if we succeed, then we are cool. That up there. And if it failed, then that means it's a zombie or something touching the power up, and we're just going to ignore them. So what we're going to do is we are going to drag off the third person character, and we are going to set a variable or something like that on them. Now, you could, and let's swing back over here to third person blueprints, third person character blueprint. Thank you. Now we could just have a variable for each possible item we could pick up. For example, if you remember, we had a variable called key to the cure, and when you walk over the vaccine, then it sets it to true. It's a little bit, you can do that, and it works. But like if you want to have something a little bit more professional, more extensible, you don't have to make a variable every time. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make a variable here called inventory, and its type is not going to be Boolean. It is going to be a map. And this little chicle looking thing here, if we click on that, we can choose to make it not a Boolean. We're going to make it a string. Sure, why not? Mapping to a Boolean or integer. Boolean or integer. Let's say integer. So, so what we can do is we can set any arbitrary string on the player, and for example, I don't know. Tell me what this thing should be, because I'm baffled. What kind of pickup should this be? Maybe there's a lucky cricket inside. You guys tell me what kind of item I just picked up here, because I'm at a loss for words on this. Lucky cricket? Okay. Yeah, perfect. All right. Maybe we can get a little. See if we can add. See if we can find something crickety in there. No. Okay. Oh, we got a wizard here. I'm going to shrink the wizard down, but it's not a lucky cricket anymore. It is now a lucky wizard in the cage. And we're just going to use an animation asset, and we're just going to have it. See if there's like an idle. Okay. So there you go. It's the lucky cricket, kind of. Right. And come over here and see that there is now a lucky cricket inside of that cage there. Okay. So what we want to do is when we walk over this, we want to add 1 to our lucky cricket count. For example, if you've ever played Ghost of Tsushima, has anyone here played Ghost of Tsushima? My sister, no, okay. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is pretty cool, and a lot of these kinds of games, these like open world games where you like collect things and do crafting, have usually collection mechanisms, and so there's lucky crickets you can find around the world, and so we can do something like that where every time you find one of these things, it adds 1 to your lucky cricket count. Okay, so let's do that. So we've got here our map, and so the map is going to have a string mapping to an integer, and what this is going to do is for any string we have, like lucky cricket or something like that, it's going to maintain a count. And you can start off with something in your inventory if you want. So you can start off with like lucky cricket having a count of 10 or something. If you want to start off with 10 bullets, for example, like that, you could do that. Maybe we'll do that in just a little bit. Bullets, and maybe we'll start with like 30 bullets, like that, and then we'll require the player to collect more. But basically, what a map means is that it associates a string, in this case, with an integer. It's an associative array. If you've ever used any programming languages like Lua, I think JavaScript, they have associative arrays where you can index into the array using a string, and the value you get is an integer. So we could, for example, say, how many lucky crickets do we have? And it'll say 0 or whatever by default. So, it's fine to me. We'll make this public so that other people can edit it. Sure. Okay. So we got this now. We've got our inventory system here. And after we do this, we don't need to have like key to the queue anymore. Like all these things like track, like bullets and pick up items and things like that. We could all kind of merge them all into the inventory system that we're doing here. Maybe we'll do that in a little bit. Okay, so we'll hop back over into pickup BP. What we want is when we touch the thing, it's going to increase our lucky cricket count. So I'm going to drag off the third-person character, and I'm going to get the inventory. And once you have a inventory, you can drag out from this. And there is different things you can do on a map. And the one we want is to find. And we're going to find from this lucky cricket. Lucky cricket, lucky crickets. And let's just line it up. No, not like that. Maybe. Okay. And so it's going to return how many lucky crickets we have, but it's also going to return if it was found or not. Okay. And so if it's the first time we've ever picked up a lucky cricket, what we're going to do is we're going to insert into the inventory, you've got 1. If not, we're going to add 1 to the count. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little branch here, hold down B and click and drag that in there. And so this is saying, have we ever found lucky crickets before? If we have, what we're going to do is we're going to grab the current value, add 1 to it, like that. And then we are going to set the value. No, let's see. You're going to add to it. We're going to add to it lucky crickets, and we can actually maybe promote this to a variable. And this is just like who we be or something like that. I don't know. So you don't have to type it every time. So we are where's the default? Over here. I'll save lucky crickets, and then we can just drag that over there as well, so you don't have to type it every time. And then there. Okay. So spaghetti. Okay. And if we have never seen the lucky crickets thing before, then we're going to come out from here, and we're just going to do essentially the same thing. We're going to do an add. And we are going to drag that there. And we're just going to set it to 1. Okay. So, not liking the number of lines I have on here. Okay. But that is, in essence, that. And the player, and then we should also delete ourselves, right? So after we pick up the lucky cricket, we will just do a destroy actor, and we'll destroy it either way. That, and so it'll clean up after ourselves. So compile, save, and then we can put out multiple of these guys. So we'll just have several of these around here. All, in like a Ghost of Tsushima style game, you scatter them through the world. I'm just putting them all next to each other so that we can pick them up really quickly. And then under BP third person blueprint, do I have an event tick? I don't have an event tick. So I will add an event tick. I will delete it in a second, but what we're going to do here is just say print string, and I'm just going to grab the inventory, and I'm going to get from the inventory add empty keys length values. We're going to find from the inventory lucky crickets, and we're going to print how many lucky crickets we have. Yep. And I'm going to delete this in a second. This is just for debugging purposes. So come over here, and you can see we've got 0 lucky crickets scrolling off the left-hand side of the screen. Walk over here, we've got 1. We got over here, we got 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So just come back in and delete that. Okay. Just for debugging purposes. It's not professional to have that in your thing. The professional thing to do would be to have it added to your maybe your user interface or something like that. So you can come back into here and go up to here, and go over to our, where is the UE? Okay. Stamina bar. Okay. And so I can maybe add an element over here, copy paste, and line it up. Negative 3, 13, 16. And this one will be crickets. Does your final project require a HUD? Yeah. It should have a HUD of some sort. And then this one will be bound to a new binding, and get text 0. Who are you? And what have you done? Get text 0 is our score thing. So I'm going to rename that because I don't like it. So this is going to be like get score text. And I am going to duplicate you like that, and you're going to be called get cricket text. And main character, target, okay, score. Okay, so we're not going to be getting the score. We're now going to be getting the inventory. Yep. And then from the inventory, we'll drag out, and we will find the how many crickets they have. So we're going to get the main characters, inventory, and we're going to find lucky crickets. Like that. So we're going to get how many crickets they have, and then we're going to pin that to score. So score crickets. And then that becomes a string, that becomes there, and then the only thing remaining to do is to go back into Designer. And under crickets here, I'm going to bind this text to the function called get cricket text. And so that is going to dynamically update the UE with how many crickets we have in real time. So, and so rather than using print string, we can just slap it onto the heads up display. And you can see that as I pick up the crickets, they update dynamically in real time. And I can add an ammo counter. So I probably should be replacing this with Niagara, huh? We'll do that offline. So maybe I'll add like a quick, I don't want to call this stamina bar. It's really just my heads up display now. So let's come back over here. Stamina bar, I'm just going to be calling you main HUD or something like that. That makes a lot more sense than stamina bar. Okay, score crickets, and then ammo, maybe? Duplicate. Over here. Line you up on negative 313, so you're left aligned. And ammo. And this also, if we click back over into the graph, I'm just going to duplicate get cricket text, and this will be get ammo count. And rather than grabbing lucky crickets, all I have to do now is just change this to be get ammo, or whatever I called it, under inventory bullets. I'm going to switch this to just ammo. So we're going to get ammo, and that's going to return how much ammo we have, and then just print ammo. And there you go. Play. Oh, wait, I didn't bind it. Main HUD, go back into the designer, ammo, text, bind to, get ammo count, and then it will dynamically update the ammo as we fire. Currently our firing does not reduce our ammo count, but you can see here we've got ammo count of 30. And so if we want our ammo counts to go down every time we attack, we put action attack. This needs to be replaced by Niagara. Well, we'll still do the line trace, but just turning off the draw debug. So every time they attack, we need to decrement the ammo count. So what we'll do is get the inventory, and we will find, and we will get our current ammo count. And if our ammo count is less than or equal to 0, then we don't do anything. Or we can make it greater than 0. Might be a little more straightforward. So if it's greater than 0, so every time we click, if the ammo count is greater than 0, then we do the line trace. And actually, we should probably decrement it too. So this minus this minus 1. And then we will insert, I just forget the name of it, add. This into ammo, value -1. So we could have done this with a regular variable, but by having an inventory thing here, it allows us to kind of put all of our different things into one place. So we can have one entry for the number of crickets, and one for the number of flowers we've picked, and one for our ammo count, and all that kind of stuff. We don't have to like spam all these variables over here. Although the number of wires here is getting a little out of control. So we find how much ammo we have. If our ammo count is greater than 0, then we decrement our ammo count by 1, and then we go on with our lives. And we can do the same thing for right click, but I think you get the idea. So as I click, you see the ammo count drops. And now I'm out of ammo and I can't attack anymore. Okay. And get shot though. They don't run out of ammo. They don't run out of ammo. So I should probably make like an ammo pickup or something. It is a dictionary. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Megan. It's an associative array or a dictionary. These are all equivalent terms for the same thing. Pickup BP. So we can actually just make one blueprint for all pickupable stuff. That could be kind of fun. So yeah, who we be item type. Here, I'll make it more proper. It's going to be instance editable, and then we could do things like make the mesh and all that stuff a variable too, maybe. Yeah, we'll do this for now. So we'll just leave it like that for now. So these things, now that I made it instance editable, you can see that these items, and when you pick it up, it adds 1 to your lucky crickets. But if I were to come over here, make a new one, and BP, and I'm going to add a new variable called item count that is going to be an integer. It's going to be public. It's going to default to 1. I'll save. So all of these lucky crickets over here give you, where is it? Give you 1 lucky cricket when you pick them up, but this guy over here, he's going to be an ammo pickup. And this guy is going to be an ammo pickup that gives you 30 ammo when you pick him up. And keep clicking on the little white ball. And then this one over here will give you, I don't know, 10 ammo when you pick it up. So if we play it now, you can see with just 1 pickup type, my ammo count's 30, goes up to 30. Ah, damn it. Decode it. So instead of adding 1, we're going to drag in item count here. And there we go. File, save. So as I was saying, it's 30 right now, and if I walk over this, I get 60. Walk over this, I get 70. So these are still set to 1, so each one of these gives you 1 cricket. Okay. So, can you have nested dictionaries? Yes. Good question. I've never tried that actually. It's this thing here. So let's make a new variable. Let's just see if we can do that. Okay. So delete me. Type integer. We want this to be a map, and we can make it a map maybe. Nah, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. An array of. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe. I've never done it before, at least. Okay. I'll save. But yeah, if you wanted, you can also make an enum, which is probably a better way of doing it than what I'm doing here, where we're just like having strings. And if you like, if I ever like, this is not like very scalable, right? Because like, imagine if like later on, like somebody decided, okay, we're not gonna have lucky crickets, we're gonna have lucky squirrels. Now I've got to go through every single blueprint and everything ever where the words lucky crickets appears and change them to lucky squirrels. And a lot of times when that happens in video games, they just leave them, you know? And so they're drawn as squirrels and the heads up display will say squirrels. But like all the things in the code refer to something that's like no longer there, just too much effort to fix. But the more proper way of doing this is to make an enum. Blueprints. You can make an enumeration. And this could be called like item types, something like that. And then list of all pickupable stuff. World. And so we can have like lucky cricket, ammo, and things like that. And then you can basically when you're working with this, instead of having to type the string, you just click from a drop down menu. Like, I want this to be a lucky cricket instead of a string. Save. And then let's see if I can do that. I don't really want to break So I can now, yeah, it's gonna break everything. I kind of don't want to. Let me make a new one, just kind of show what that'll look like. So between item type and integer. Okay, this is how I would actually do it, right? Let's see here. Instance editable on. Please compile the blueprint. Compile, save. You. And so you see now I can just pick between Lucky Cricket and ammo. I don't have to type it. And so this eliminates the danger of like somebody like fat fingering and typing like Lucky Cricket versus Lucky Crickets, ammo, ammunition, things like that. In which case you're writing to different entries in the dictionary instead of having like a nice little drop down like this. So I can say, ammo is going to default to 30, and Lucky Crickets are going to default to 0, and things like that. So you can make enums like that anytime you want to have like a fixed list of options. You can make an enum, and you do that by just, like I said, right click, blueprints, make an enumeration, and then inside of there, you just click add enumerator, which is option. Just make a new option for each thing. You can describe what they are if you want, but that's basically it. And then instead of using like a string, which is pretty open-ended, then the map is between item types. That's the name of the enumerator I created, the enumeration I created, and int. So that's probably a better way of doing it. But let's just go ahead and delete you because I'm already too invested in this bad way of doing it. So yeah, actually, let me just show you real fast. So if I drag this out, so if I do a find from here, you see how instead of typing in a string, I can just click and be like, find our current ammo count, find our current count of Lucky Crickets. So this is kind of a better way. A little less open-ended, which is good, unless like you really just want to be able to store any string in any count. Like if you just want to have an infinite number of things you can pick up, then you probably want to use the string route. So like, if you're playing like Wordle or something like that, you might want to write down how many times somebody's picked candle as the starting word or whatever. And for that, you can't have an enum because it's just open-ended. In which case, you would store every time somebody types, canoe or whatever as the starting word for Wordle. You would like find its entry in the inventory and update its count, things like that. In general, though, I think enums are better for like what we're trying to do here. Okay, you guys understand? Pretty open-ended system. I can refactor key to the cure if you guys want to see that real fast. So instead of having a separate variable, I can incorporate it into the inventory system if you guys want to see how that works. Or do you guys kind of got the gist, the cut of my jib? You guys want to see me refactor this into the inventory? Either sign? Okay, let's do it. So over here, we've got the vaccine pickup right here. And that is vaccine blueprint. And so right now what it's doing is just setting key to the cure to be true, right? And so I'm just going to yoink that out. And I'm going to instead grab their inventory. And I'm going to pull out from here. I'm going to just say add, because I don't care what the current value is actually. Right? And because I'm not using the enum system, I don't have to add an enum for it. I guess that's a benefit. And I can just say key to the cure is now set to be 1. Okay. So that's all it really took to refactor that code. So basically the player's inventory now has a new key in it called key to the cure, and its value is set to 1. And so if you ever need to check to see if you have key to the cure, you can just drag out from the inventory and type find, and then get the value from there. So that's basically it. BP third person, key to the cure can be deleted, and it's just going to be incorporated into inventory now. delete the better inventory. I'll stick to the bad inventory. And there we go. So that's a simple inventory system. There's far more complicated inventory systems. Like if you want to maintain like the weight of an item and encumbrance or like inventory slots and things like that. You're gonna want to do something a little bit more complicated. But as far as just like something simple where you just have like an inventory count, like you're just counting these things, like this works pretty well. Anytime if somebody collects all 4 crickets, then you can have a branch that will do something if you collect all the crickets or something like that. It's very easy, very flexible. It doesn't really handle like weight, things like that. Lucky glow Niagara effect, yeah. Yeah, we can do that. BP third-person character has the Man on Fire aura. Already, I'll just use that one real fast. Pick up BP. So if their current value is... Before we destroy ourselves, if the value is greater than or equal to 4, branch. So if their current value is greater than or equal to 4, then we're going to turn on the Man on Fire aura. Just so I can reuse a Niagara effect. So the player is over here. All right, so we will get Man on Fire effect. Yeah. Man on Fire aura here. So if we picked up all 4 lucky crickets, then you will activate. Delete you into here and there, and yeah, I don't think that's gonna matter. Okay, so what I'm doing is saying if you pick up all 4 of the crickets, it should start us on fire. 1, 2, oh. Oh. That was with 2 crickets. Did I forget to put a 4 in there? I did. Okay. So if the number of crickets we have is greater than or equal to 4, okay. It's like I burst into flames too soon. Okay, let's try this again. So come over here, and we go 1, 2, 3. Okay, now you're just trolling me, dude. 4. Let's see what I type in here. We get the current count. We add item count. Okay, so that's 1. And then we add that into the thing. It's greater than or equal to 4. It should activate and then destroy the actor. Why did it activate on 3? Let's see. Does it default to not 0? Let's turn this up to 5 and just see what happens there. One, 2, 3, 4. Weird. Okay. And now we're on fire. All right. How do we have an off by 1 error in here? It's all spaghetti. Find. Oh, whatever. It works. Okay, so you guys see that? So you can do things like, once you've collected all the lucky, crickets, you can do things like that. And this Niagara effect I've been wanting to fix Carlin Fountain, particle effect, man on fire, quest marker. In here, fountain, motor state, loop duration, 2 seconds, spawn rate, 5,000. Lifetime min, lifetime max. I'm going to turn these way down to like 0.2 to 0.5 or something like that. Save. There. So now instead of the thing like kind of flying up into the sky. Okay. What? Oh, it's because the ammo count is doing it too. That's why. Okay. Yeah, the ammo boxes are doing the man on fire effect here. I forgot about that. Okay. And so now the quest marker will be a lot shorter. Before, it was kind of bugging me how high that thing was going in the sky. So that's a bit more reasonable. So you can walk in there and like drop off your crickets or whatever. Okay, so that's basically our little UE4 lecture for today. Hope you guys liked it. We're going to switch over into Quake modding in a second. Any questions before we wrap up? Okay, let's switch on over to Quake C. Save all.